Hello. Welcome to Handmade by Julie Quinn. And I'm coming on because I want to do a video and I wanted to show you this one. This was my blog post from last night and I wanted to show some of the new stuff coming in our catalogue next week, which is extremely exciting. And this was, as I said, my blog post last night. So it's a fresh card for me, a new idea, and I was inspired actually with this great little double label detail by this project here in the mini catalogue, featuring this bright border stamp set which I have, which is really cool. But when you look closely you can see that there's a border stamped underneath, as well as the same punch used for the greeting at the top. So that's what we're going to do. And because it's a new catalogue coming next week, I had to play with some new things. So I'm using beautiful motifs for my greetings, so celebrate, and some stamping that's inside, as well as the bright borders. And for the detailed dies, I'm using the Gallery Blooms dies, which are actually part of the mega suite that includes beautiful motifs and another stamp set called Gallery Blooms. And I'm also using one of our new in colours coming in the new catalogue. It is called Cloud Cover. It's a very, very soft blue, not unlike we used to have a blue called Soft Sky. I'd say this one has a touch more grey in it than Soft Sky did, the one we used to have years ago. And this is the Cloud Cover flower bloom florals or something like that. This is 12 by 12 foil. It has this beautiful embossed image. If I hold it there, maybe you can see it. There's flowers embossed on there. It comes in Cloud Cover, Strawberry Slush, which is another one of our new in colours, and also Pretty in Pink. And there are 6 sheets. So there's this design and there's also another plainer design. But my favourite, obviously, is the florally embossed design. So I'm just using that for before I do that, I'm going to put some ribbon around. Oops, nearly forgot what I was doing there. So just wrapping my ribbon around there, and then to anchor that in place I'll just add a bit more adhesive over the top. So this is the Cloud Cover faux linen ribbon that's coming along with the new in colours. So the new catalogue starts on the 6th of May, which is next Tuesday. If you still need a copy and you live locally to me, contact me and I can make sure you get a copy if you don't already have one and you don't have another demonstrator. Okay, now originally this card is actually all about this to the point label punch and this really cool technique. So with another new colour, Secret Sea, which is a very, very deep blue, I'm going to first of all stamp my frame and punch that out. So this is the normal way you use the punch. You stamp first, then punch, and wherever possible, punch upside down so you can see exactly where you're lining up your stamp and punch it out, okay? And then the catalogue showed me this great, there's my bit of die cutting there already done, so I'll just pop you out of the way. This other great technique, so using the same punch, I'm using a skinnier piece of cardstock. This was in my scrap drawer, so I actually don't even know. I can tell you what width it is in a minute. I'm thinking about 2 centimetres, but not sure. So lining that up and punching that out, and I've got a completely different shape. So this one and then this one both use the same punch. that one came that way, but we're going to use it horizontally. And on that, we'll stamp the Celebrate stamp for the front of the card. Give that a bit of a clean. And while I'm stamping, I'll also stamp a greeting for inside the card, which I think could go for most situations. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a long lifetime, which you would wish for anyone. It sort of sounds a bit wedding-ish, but you could use that for any, because really we should be wishing people love and happiness always. All right, I'll close my Secret C, and then the last colour I've paired with my cloud cover and Secret C is some Petal Pink, something a bit soft. Okay, I'll just stamp that. Okay, so that's all of the stamping done for this card. I have already done, I'm going to put that over and use that as a bit of scrap paper in a minute. Have done some die cutting with the Gallery Blooms dies. This die set has actually 13 pieces, outline dies for the Gallery Blooms stamp set, but also lots of lovely detailed dies of little leafy interesting bits, as well as some frames, which is really interesting. So I've got my die cut bits, and I just chose a couple to use as my interest on this card, just with a bit of a scrap there. Now, I've got that one out, got that one out, got that one out. This one I need to just pop you out, so you'll come out of the die there, cardstock. There we are. So that's all the dies done. And just pop out the bits and pieces from inside there. Obviously this one likes to be, it's not too hard to pop them out. I could use my tool or my die brush. It would work equally as well, but I'm just popping them out with my fingers there. There we go. There's that one. And while I'm putting them on this piece of paper, which I'm going to use as a scrap paper, is we're going to colour them just with markers. There we go. In the same colours, in the cloud cover and the Petal Pink. So I'm going to do my leaves, and I'm going to use the brush tip end of the markers. The markers have two lines on the barrel there. One's quite wide and one's quite fine. So the fine line indicates the fine tip marker, which is great for journaling, and the wider line is great for the brush tip. So I'm just going to use the brush tip to colour in. Now another way you could do this actually is to scribble all over your cardstock before you die cut it, but that one not so much. But these other ones, I want to colour the flowers with the Petal Pink and the leaves with the cloud cover marker. Okay, and that one, and this one, the leaves. I could colour all of this in. Now what did I use last time? I think that'll do. And then here, now they're very fine and fiddly, these little dies, so I'm actually going to stick them behind my greeting to make it easy for me to put them together. Okay, so there's my cloud cover, and now I'll use my Petal Pink, and it's a much lighter colour, so I possibly should have done my Petal Pink before I did my cloud cover. There we go. Looks nice, doesn't it? Even with my, oops, uneven colouring, it just looks nice having the multicoloured image, and also because I'm not covering it evenly, there's sort of bits of white space and different shades. And then my last one, these little flowers on this. I am not much of a gardener or horticulturist, so I don't know what these flowers are, but I do like how they look. There we go. And a little bit more there. Okay, so that was all that. That's the back of this. So I can stick that straight into my card and no one will ever know that I used it as a backing sheet. There we go. Inside, and then I'll pop my frame over the top of my ribbon there. All right. And then I am about to cover up this bit with the Celebrate. So to help me arrange my foliage, I'm just going to put a bit of adhesion there, and this one can go over here. I have actually added an extra piece on this card, and you over there, and I'm also going to add a piece of ribbon, probably that big, just guessing, and cut it in half lengthwise. Tie the two together in a knot, and I could have tied it in the knot first and then just cut it to the knot. Whoop. Hang on, missed a bit. Rightio, try that again. Tie it in a knot. There we go. And stick you there. And then my greeting goes over the top of everything using dimensionals. And I'm going to leave the center of it free because that will be where the knot is. And this greeting will hide all of that work. There, put my ribbon up there. There we go. And then the last thing is some of the new In Colour Flat Pearls. So these are the new in colours in the new catalogue coming. There is Secret Sea Cloud Cover, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush. Very different colours. I'm going to use the Secret Sea, I think, on this. One down there and one up there and another one there. There we go. So there is a fun way taught to me by the catalogue using this great to-the-point punch in two different ways on the same card, and showing you off some new products that are coming soon. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again on Thursday afternoon. Bye bye now.